dignitaries, respected teachers and students. A very good morning to one and all. With great joy and immense pleasure, I, Rita Pal, Faculty of the Bruising Charitable Trust, Thakur Shyamnarayan Degree College, Mumbai, I feel privileged to welcome our chief guest, Professor Priyanka Vittal Naik, librarian of Sri Sahu Mandir Mahavidyalaya, Parvatiyam, Pune. She has published seven international UGC listed journal articles and one book on distance educational libraries. She has organized two national level seminars in college. I now request to Professor Priyanka Vittal Naikwadi to deliver the address. Thank you for your valuable talk.
Namaste and a very good morning to one and all. I first of all take this opportunity to thank both the organizing colleges, that is Thakur Shyamnarayan Degree College Mumbai and Vasantrao College of Arts and Commerce Murud Janjira of Raigad. I also thank the principals, that is the head of these institutes, that is Dr.Sharad Phulari sir and Dr. Vishwas Chavan sir, for giving me this opportunity and believing me to be the chief guest of this conference. I also congratulate the organizing team, that is conveners and librarians of this conference, for selecting this topic, because it is a very need-based topic and it is definitely or is surely helpful to all the listeners and all the participants of this conference, that is librarians and the academicians, because library management system in higher education and higher education institutes is somewhat which is a trendy topic and it is a need-based topic where it it is going to help out the final end users in using after using the technology and implementing the technology in libraries, and that will result the satisfaction of end users as such. So I again congratulate you, all the organizing team, for selecting this wonderful topic. uh, Myself, Priyanka Raipadi of Library and Sri Shahu Mandir Mahavidyalaya, Pune, here presenting here a short topic, a short presentation on which will cover the whole concept as such, and which I like to give the glimpse of this conference and how this conference is going to produce the few topics that has to be covered in this conference. So to begin with it, I have kept this personality or this wise man here, which implies that it balancing both the traditional and technological things together at a time to give or render the maximum good services to its users and to give the best output. So this wise man or the researcher or the academician who is balancing both the medias, both the technology and traditional tools, is said to be a wise because he is balancing both, and that is what the need of today's era is. So I keep this image in my every presentation. uh, to begin with this presentation, I would say that it is okay to, or it is needed to include this education system from last 50 years up till now, how it has been changed and what are the needs and what are the things that has been changed from this last 50 years after independence, or we can say in last 100 years, how this has been changed. That it is, we say that there is a huge or drastic revolution in the field of education system as well, along with the other things. So it was started initially with the chalk and talk system or chalk and board system, uh, as a learning and teaching and learning method, which gradually shifted to distance learning, which means the correspondence learning, where we have provided such educational system in which people, those who are job workers or those who are not able to attend the schools physically or colleges physically, were supposed to, or were it was possible for them to opt for this distance learning method and complete their degrees. So even that education system was taken place during the period. Then it changed towards the online learning. Here mean that use of technology in your teaching and learning methodology is called as online learning. So the use of technology is started after the invention of computers and computer applications in education system. Then it was a period of hybrid learning where the mixture of both the things, that is traditional as well as online technology and tools, taken place, and it is now the age of MOOC. We can say that massive open online learning, which has been already started worldwide, and it is becoming a popular all over the world. So these changes in the education system we have, or we must have considered while uh, performing in our duties being an academician. So I think that education system which has changed drastically is affecting our profession also, and accordingly we have to grab and change ourselves. My dear friends, during last 2 years in the pandemic situation, it is the only online technology that has been survived and sustained our education system, and we have to have the knowledge and upgradation in our overall personality along with this technology. So it is needed to consider such things in our personality. So what we are going to see in this presentation, there are 4 points which are extremely necessary, what I felt and I have covered in this presentation. That is, first of all, there is a change in education mode and reading culture, right? Then, what are the national educational policy principles? What are the national education policy? What it talks about and how it is affecting our profession? And then what is library management system, and what are the new trends in LIS profession? What are the challenges to us? So these few things I have to talk to you. It is not a kind of lecture, but it is a sharing kind of thing, and I feel that we can have a good kind of discussion on these things. So, as I said that there is a change in education environment, the reading culture, which was supposed to be in past years, has been changed equally. Nowadays, a new generation is talking about online videos, online reading, and that is it is a different thing that how psychology and mentally print versus media, print versus online media is going to affect. But that is a different part. But we have to adjust with the online technology, and therefore the reading culture is also slowly changing, that must be taken into the consideration by the libraries and librarians. So an environment where reading is valued, promoted and actively encouraged is reading culture in simple terms. But reading culture is important for from academic perspective, and we as a librarian should consider the changes in it. So regardless of age and media, reading is a continuous process which enhances your personality, and that is going to be sustained till the last or till the end of our uh, era. Like it was there, it is there, and it will be there. So reading culture is extremely important, which have to be seen, or which have to be observed by the librarians and academicians, teachers, instructors. So changes in education system implies changes in reading culture as well. Hybrid technology has given us the opportunity to enjoy both the learning age, and we should enjoy it. So that is important. I keep this slide purposefully because many times we say that print is better than of online media, but no, we have to balance it, as we have seen that what are the effects and effects in the pandemic area. So availability, accessibility, reliability, budgetary terms, and time value terms, the online media is preferable, and we have to have the balance of both. So both the things are equally important, and they are changing the scenario of libraries in nowadays. So, my dear friends, what is National Educational Policy 2020 talks about? In higher education especially, if we take the short in short, if we say what is NEP, or what are the outcomes, or what it focuses on, uh, especially in higher education, that it first of all, it very much focused to have or to give the skill based educational courses. So it is again a task for we academicians to provide some practical courses, skill-based courses to provide or to give our students as an ready-made source to the companies, corporates, or as a business entrepreneur, whatever, to have its own to teach them the skill-based curriculum is a challenge, and that is what the focus of this NEP. It talks about the practical approach rather than a theoretical or pure listening. It talks about the practical approach, and there what librarians are, very important to provide them the online resources, the correct online resources to the correct user is again a very great task for all the academic stakeholders. Then it also talks about the clustered education or interdisciplinary approach of various subjects. It is no wonder that many of the subjects are clustered or are combined with other subjects, and there is a result of another outcome of other different subject, and that is again a challenge for we people um, being in a teaching field, that we have to cluster or combine such topics that will be useful for the teachers to make it as an outcome. So these three things are more commonly focused in national education policies. Then what or how it applies to libraries or library professionals. Basically, the role of librarians has been changed because of these online tools and application of online technologies in the academic field, in the education system. So this challenging role is equally accepted by the librarians, and slowly the progress can be seen by applications in the various fields. So, first of all, the basic thing which we are talking about, the LMS modules, how the LMS is going to work, or how the library management system works by in a libraries. Like if we talk about the library automation or applying the applying the LMS in libraries, it starts from the preservation, the acquisition of library material to the dissemination of library services or library outcomes to the end users, and application of that management softwares in each and every function of library work is called as library modules. So we will see it in the next slide. And opportunities along with the challenges in LMS or in online environment, in automated environment, as is a challenge, is definitely uh, very great. It also brings the very great opportunity for the librarians, those who obtain and those who update themselves is going to be work out in a very good direction and will be very useful for all the stakeholders of academic system. So these are the national education policy things which are which I feel that essential to talk about or to tell you about. Then what about the library management system? We say that library management system is just what is the purpose of it? It is the purpose is to operate library efficiently. Whatever resources you have, or whatever online resources we have you have collected, or whatever the collection you have, is just to give efficiently to the end user with the help of technology is library management system. It is interchangeably called as LMS, is interchangeably called as library management software as well, because application of LMS or software in library functions is called as library management system. Why it is necessary? Because it the once you have applied the LMS in libraries, the functions are going to be offered in a minimal cost with a minimal time in a minimum time. So they are equally important. Then automation, when we talk about the library automation or application of LMS, it generally divided into the two parts, that is performing and application. While performing or while creating this LMS system, there is a process, and while applying this LMS, there is a process. So these two broad terminologies are considered in LMS. So what are the steps in LMS generally? What we can say that what steps we have to follow? I know various participants are going to cover these terminologies in their presentations, but I have just taken the glimpse of it. So what are the steps in LMS? First of all, while applying the LMS or while selecting the while applying it or while operating LMS, we have to identify our user needs, our user area, their types and their needs. So before choosing any software or before applying any software, we have to consider the user needs and demands. Then selection of software is again a difficult task. Nowadays there are various open source software and other things where librarian expertise are considered and it saves the time and cost. But there are some commercial which are offered at very minimal cost and gives you the better services. So it again depends on your educational institute's background, that how on which software you want to install. Then staff training is again a very essential thing. Unless and until you have good supportive staff in your library, you are not able to take the steps forward and you are not going to complete the LMS process. And then after once installed or once the LMS system is processed, the user induction is equally important, because once you are done with the LMS things, the users' expectations and users' needs are to be satisfied with this system. So their induction or their orientation is equally important. These are some steps which I am mentioning in few points. Then what could be the components of LMS? The very basic thing is budget, of course, because unless and until you are talking about the financial terms or you are having the financial background of that things, according to your needs of libraries, your budget is to be formed. And right now there are many open sources, as I said, so even at a minimal cost, these things can be done. User and their needs are, of course, the component, a very important component of LMS. Then existing collection, what kind of collection you have, whether it is a rare manuscript based or whether it is online, whether it is a hardbound, whether it is only text book. It depends upon your type of library. So what kind of collection you have and how you're going to automate or how you're going to, which software you're going to select. That is also important component. Then vendors, if you are going for a software which is commercial or even if it is open source, there is a vendor who provides it, and technical support is also a very important issue for that. Then web applications, if you are having the online services of libraries through software, through IR services, then web application policy is also important there. Then AMC, which ensures this smooth functionality, so that annual maintenance contract is also important component. I have taken this image from a paper where it talks about the LMS system, in application of LMS system in each and every section of the library. How you are going to apply this LMS in by creating the barcode. Suppose you are giving the facility through the QR codes, so that barcode scanning or barcode reader software, or how your catalog is managed online, how your circulation is working, or how the software is working in various areas like online access to your collection, self management, how the fee is managed, how the library membership is taken over. All these functions which are automated are considered in your software are shown over here in the LMS system. Then there is again a challenge for e-collection, my dear friends, because nowadays we have to talk and consider this e-collection. Then management of e-collection and services is also the need of hour. LMS should be such that it should equally store and disseminate such collection, which includes ebooks, e-journals, and links to portals, etc. It also includes web packs, institutional repositories. If you have good collection of in-house collection, in-house production, your faculty's production, your faculty study material, your rare books collection, that could be stored in institutional repository, which is additional to your knowledge or is additional to your collection of library. Then, what I think the basic challenges, there are many, but broadly we can say that there are few challenges to LIS profession in this applying in this LMS system or applying the online services towards the users. The online education, we can see that when we talk about the MOOCs or online system, the role of LIS is a very challenging, like from how the contents are created, how you are helping to the instructors to create the contents, how you are storing the contents, how you are disseminating the contents, how you are managing your users and user interactive forums, through these contents. There are many issues which are really challenging in the age of online education system through your softwares, through your management learning systems. So these are some kind of challenges where librarians have to be updated. Librarian staff has to be trained in this direction. So these are some of the challenges like updating themselves in software and training. Then human resource management, whatever staff you have as a librarian under your supervision, you have to manage them like in technical terms, in time saving terms, in even in personality communication terms. There are various challenges which has to be tackled by the library professionals. And collaborative role is a very challenging thing for a LS profession, which I feel that when you are collaborating with instructor or teacher and students, where you are a mediator between them, you have to collaborate these things. You have to collaborate with other libraries. You have to collaborate with the higher hierarchy. These things are very challenging for alliance professionals. So I have considered these things, and I'm sure that many presentations will be talking about it in each and every area of LMS system, and that will be a fruitful thing for our library professionals for sure. So I again thank you for giving me this opportunity, and I feel that and I hope and I'm sure that this conference will be a very fruitful for alliance professionals. I again thank you all of you, and have a wonderful conference. Thank you.
Honorable dignitaries, respected teachers and students, a very good morning to one and all. With great joy and immense pleasure, I, Rita Pal, Faculty of Solution Charitable Trust, Thakur Shyamnarayan Degree College, Mumbai, feel privileged to welcome our keynote speaker, Dr. Kunal Chunnilal Kamini. Dr. Kunal Chunnilal Kamini is an Assistant Professor of Computer Science, SNC College of Dairy Science, Kamdhenu University, Anand, Gujarat. He has a passion for teaching, and apart from this, he has a keen interest in taking various quality initiatives in education. He is the author of 6 books and 65 papers, which is published in different national and international journals. He is a member in editorial board for international journals and life member in different scientific bodies. I now request to Dr. Chunnilan Kamini sir to deliver the address. Thank you for valuable talk.
Namaskar. Before I begin, let me congratulate and thanks to the organizers for arranging wonderful national e-conference on library management system in higher education and higher education system. The topic of the conference is very appropriate in contemporary scenario. In this lecture, I will talk on how learning management system is helpful in higher education after implementation of new education policy. So let's start. The new education policy 2020. It is the first education policy of the 21st century to replace the 34-year-old national policy on education that was launched in the year 1986. The NEP 2020 is based on the foundational pillars like access, affordability, equity, quality, and accountability. The National Book Promotion Policy will be formulated and extensive initiatives will be taken to increase the accessibility and availability of learning materials across geographies and languages. Here are the developments in the digital libraries and higher educational institutes, schools, public libraries. The government will work on to promote the readership habit, maximum use of libraries, to ensure the availability and accessibility of books to the students without any barrier of language, technology, and geographies. Libraries in NEP for higher education can be implemented by considering following points. Very first is developing enjoyable and inspirational books. Enjoyable and inspirational books will be developed for the students at all levels in the local and Indian languages. Steps will be taken to ensure the accessibility of books to disabled and differently abled persons. The government, with the help of both public and private sector institutions, will devise strategies to improve the quality and attractiveness of the books, making the availability and accessibility of books in the college libraries. The government will emphasize making books available extensively in both schools or colleges and public libraries. The government will take steps to ensure availability and accessibility of books to all, including persons having disabilities and differently abled persons using modern ICT technologies across the country. The main emphasis will be on socio-economically disadvantaged areas and rural areas, building a culture of reading across the country. Libraries will be extensively enhanced to increase the readership and readers across the country. Libraries will strengthened and modernized. An adequate supply of books that cater the needs and interest will be ensured. Establishing more children's library and mobile library and social book clubs across the country to support widespread reading and community development. ICT equipped college, school or public libraries to serve the community and students, particularly in villages during non-academic hours. The ICT equipped libraries will be set up. Book club facilities will be developed to further promote widespread reading. Libraries will be strengthened in the higher education systems. Academic libraries are the hearts of institutions, and the government will strengthen and increase the procurement of reading materials like books, journals, and other learning and teaching materials. Steps will be taken for further enhancement of digital libraries and online accessibility of library books. E-content will be provided in regional languages also. Use of public library space for adult education. The government will work on providing suitable infrastructure to ensure adult education and lifelong learning to interested adults. The public library spaces will be used for ICT equipped adults education courses and other activities for community engagement and enrichment. Devise appropriate CPD for library staff to realize the aim of establishing, developing, and strengthening existing libraries and catering the needs of all the types of reader across the country. The government will devise appropriate career pathways development for library staff and ensure adequate staff for proper functioning. Now, to move from paper to pixel journey, here are the developments in digital libraries with proper library management system in higher education institutes, schools or public libraries. The government will work on to promote readership habit, maximum use of libraries, to ensure the availability and accessibility of books to the students without any barrier of languages, technology, and geographies. And the purpose of this LMS is to move from this traditional library to modern digital libraries. So we are going to see the different functionalities, modules, and advantages and challenges of LMS in forthcoming slides. So first we will see what is LMS. LMS is nothing but library management system. It is a software that uses to maintain the record of library. It contains work like number of available books in the library, the number of books are issued or returning, or renewing a book, or late fine charge record, etc. Library management system allows the librarian to maintain library resources in more operative manner that will help to save their time. Moreover, it also reduces manual record burden of the librarian. LMS is also useful for students as well as librarian to keep the constant track of availability of all the books in a store. Now, what is the requirement of library management system, particularly in higher education institutes? So, this diagram will show the different requirements. For example, circulation management, fees management, self-management, online access, search function, barcode scanning, membership management, and catalog management. So, the library management focuses on possibility of search for books by title, author, or subject by the members. Further, they should be able to locate a book physically by the unique identification code and the rack number for each book. The LMS should provide details of the books held by the members. Further, the system should limit to the number of books that can be taken and the number of days that books can be kept for. So, this is about requirement of LMS. Now, how LMS can be useful in different types of library, so that we can move from this traditional library utility to modern digital library system. So LMS can be useful in almost all the type of libraries. For example, it is useful in school libraries, college libraries, private libraries, reference libraries, national libraries, public libraries, and modern public libraries. In short, I can say that LMS is almost used in each and every kind of library. We will discuss importance of LMS in higher education institutes. A library management system is the most proficient and easy to use system for managing all the processes involved in library in the most effective ways. This system will reduce all the manual work and whole processes can be managed just through a single clicks and edits. This will no headache and doubtfulness of storing the data securely and searching the records of any individual afterward. Any book seeker can rent a book just by signing in with their details and return it with the date of returning. The staff can also facilitate themselves with some extra authorizations and privileges. Only one person is required to take care of whole system without any chance of mistakes. The purpose of library management system or LMS is to offer paperless solution, reduce man hours, increased efficiency that will eventually lead to lower operating costs. Now, the functions of LMS. This slide highlight different functions of LMS. Very first is LMS software is that you can also search for rare books or apply for interlibrary loans and vice versa. This makes it very easy for your students to access all the books in many libraries from a single place. The implementation of college management system in higher educational institutes offers students with 24/7 access to completely digitalized libraries and vast educational resources from anywhere and at any time. Manage available books and issued books record with RFID or barcode integration. Manage books, periodicals, journals, CD/DVD and other media records. Issue and receive library management to and from students or faculties. It generates library cards for students, faculties and for books. Now, this slide shows the various modules of an ideal LMS. Cataloging. It is the process of creating a list of all bibliographic items such as short description, list of subjects, author name and the classification. Another module is membership module. This module keeps track of all important information of student who has taken membership of the library. Report generator module helps in generating various reports like status of issued books, total members, books returned, etc. Circulation module keep the central and highly visible functions of library as it keeps the record of status of books in the library. OPAC, Online Public Access Catalog. It is an online database of materials kept in the library. It allows the search for an item of our choices in the library. Acquisition module. It is the department in the library which is responsible for selection and purchase of material or resources in the library. Periodicals modules helps in receiving periodicals issue and subscription detail. It provides periodical accession number generation. Reports. This module generates various type of reports like overdues report, dynamic report, resource status report, transaction history, etc. Database management module. This module helps in maintaining and organizing the database of library. System administration module. This module helps in removing all the hassles of library management which leads to smooth functioning. Transaction module. Management transaction is managing all the books, magazines, journals in the library for fast functioning of software. Book acquisition control module. It is the method of adding books in the stock of library. The department select vendor, negotiating, arrange for standard orders and resources. Journal control module. In this module, full record of journals are kept in the library. The current issued and how many new added books. Budget module. It is the process of planning and negotiating the acquisition of materials of library. It is done to limit the expenditure of the library. Now, in this slide, we are going to discuss about different advantages of LMS. Very first is simple and easy to use. LMS is simple, user-friendly, and can be easily integrated with your existing system. The LMS benefits provides online and offline storage, automated backups, and easy upgrades to simplify and enhance the learning process. Second, it increased the library engagement. Avoid frustration and tedious process by students with 24/7 access to library resources from anywhere, anytime. LMS allows the librarian to maintain all type of books, e-books, journals, photos, videos, and create events. Third, efficient cloud data management. Automate, simplify and deploy library database seamlessly to make it easy for your institution to benefit from secure cloud services. It improves efficiency with automation of various library tasks including acquisition, cataloging, serial managements, circulations, and references. Fourth, it is highly secure and scalable and reliable. College libraries benefit from scalable infrastructure, role-based secure access, high performance and reliable to ensure seamlessly across the library database. Fifth one is mobile access. The LMS provides mobile access to search the library catalog, schedules, books, and resources from anywhere at any given time via smartphones and tablets. Sixth, dynamic reports. It maximizes the performance of libraries with dynamic reports, charts, graphs to review and track the progress for better decision making. Seventh, error free. The automated library software is user friendly, powerful, and developed for easy entry of data, makes library operations from the error. Eighth is innovation. Students can search, write articles, upload photos and videos, manage email, send messages, but also help them to keep up with librarian and other students via chat, discussion forums, and social media. It is cost effective. Embracing sophisticated technologies is cost effective and viable choice for education institutions. Using cloud, mobile, and digital libraries eliminates paper-based processes and maintains overheads, improves productivity, reduces operation costs, and save time. 10th, LMS should be fully customized. The library automation system is fully customizable and adaptable to needs of educational institutions to provide fast and reliable data. Along with advantages of LMS, there are few challenges associated with LMS. The financial drawback is one of the major reasons. To implement sophisticated technology, we need to invest in it. People need to be educated in technology. This is the serious problem in developing countries like India, where the pedagogy and infrastructure are missing. Lack of training facilities and unavailability of trained staff are major barriers. Barcode operations and retrospective conversion of materials need skilled data operators. Hardware like barcode printer servers, barcode scanner, etc. are not insufficient. Also, to acquire good quality hardware, we need to invest more. Lack of proper college administration that seem to ignore the need for digitalization. Improper planning or organization. It needs to coordinate effort from IT professionals, library management teams, and college administration. Now, before procuring or selecting a good LMS, there are few points that we must consider. Majority of the system offers pretty much the same sort of things in terms of basic functionality, but it is more the way the deploy the functionality, the various points that we need to consider before implementing a good LMS in our organizations. So among them, very first is cost. Don't forget to consider the initial costs, that is for setup fee, installation, data conversion and training, barcode scanners, etc. As well as the ongoing costs like annual subscription, support desk fee, etc. Second one is multi-campus educational institute support. Will the system caters for multi-campus support? Can you treat each campus as separate entity but still search across the sites and be able to return items at any of the sites? It should be user friendly. Please check. A safe, user friendly and logical management system enables it to be used by students as well as the non-library staff. This is particularly important if you rely on periods of self-issue when the library is unmanned. Also check the technical support. It is the technical support team available when you need them, or will you have to wait a long time for a response? Can you reach them by phone, email or live chat? How easy will it be to install, update and upgrade your LMS? Or will the system be hosted on site, the college, thereby reducing reliance on the college IT department? Please also check startup services. Do they provide support in getting your library data and user information converted to a format compatible with their system? Is this remote or on-site? How quickly can it be done? How much disruption will it cause? Whether LMS going to provide you trial demo? Can they offer you fully functional trial version of the software or test drive or offer a live demonstration? Training is one of the crucial point to consider. What are the options for training? How many people can be involved? How much will it cost? It may be worth remembering that depending on product you choose, your local charges for college library service can offer training and at what competitive rate they are providing. Customizable. Will you have capability to customize the look and functionality of reports, templates and the catalog, or you stuck with preset formats? Flexibility. Can you buy basic package and then add extra components or enhancement as and when required, or when more funding becomes available? Are there extras that are desirable that you might want to purchase later after you completely set up? Or do you have buy anything at once? Does the system support expansion, upgrades? Is there any option to be cloud based? Compatibil- Compatibility and digital integration. Can you link it with college website? Does it have its own application? How easy it to catalog? Where does it draw automated cataloging records from? And what quality do you get? That is, how much time will you have to spend editing? Exciting additional features. These may include book covers, reviews, author videos, barcode and label printing facilities, features to support reading activities, etc. Now, here I am going to give the list of some of the free open LMS providers. Among them, online public Access Catalog, that is OPAC. MOPAC, that is Mobile Online Public Access Catalog. Koha, it is one of the popular open source library system nowadays. Among them, school ERP software, Evergreen LMS, Bibliotech LMS, OPALS, Invenio, SLIMS, Greenstone, and Folio. There are, other than this, there are many other free open LMS are also available in the market. Here are the few references for more details. So with this, I am concluding here. Thank you all of you.